Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be looking at a couple tips and tricks, some ways to really track your expenses, know what you're spending, where you're spending it at. So let's go ahead and get into the video. But before we do, make sure you click on the subscription link, guys. Turn on the notifications so you can stay up to date in all the videos. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, some of the ways that are easily identifiable to actually track your expenses. Number one, checking your account statements. Now, looking through your checking statements, your credit card statements, really breaking down and analyzing exactly where you're spending money. Now, there are a lot of tools. There's a couple apps, a couple different things that you can utilize for a service like this. However, they do cost money. A lot of the things that we're going to talk about, you can do yourself and you can do completely free without relying on technology, without an app, anything of that nature, allowing you to really break down what you're spending. Also making sure within those statements, guys, that everything in there is yours. There are a lot of things, maybe a small charge from something you forgot or a small charge from something that is not yours that could possibly come through, whether it could be like an old gym membership or a subscription to a service that you no longer use. We've seen a lot of those that kind of go through. Only way is really combing through the statement, seeing exactly what is in there. Again, looking at where the money goes. Now, the next one, guys, is really the big one, categorizing your expenses. So when you have it in black and white, when you have it on statements, you can really break it down and see where the money is going. We've done budgeting. So looking at the 50-30-20 rule with the budgeting breakdown, but realizing exactly where your money is going to, and also shopping around for where you can get things cheaper. Now, this is one of the biggest things that I feel a lot of people miss, whether it is saving, a rate on a mortgage, rates on auto loans, rates on credit cards, unsecured debt, whether it is looking at getting subscriptions cheaper, looking at getting cheaper insurance, looking at, cost shopping. There are an incredible amount of companies out there that will offer you the same products and services that you're looking for at a discount price. Now, there is also a lot of apps that we have that allow you to get things either cheaper or you get cash back with some of the services, again, that they can provide. You can utilize reward systems that they have, again, to get things that you're technically paying for yourself, only at a cheaper version, or seeing things that you really do not need. For instance, when it comes to cell phone plans, most of the plans are sold around having your unlimited data, not realizing that most of the people that have unlimited data don't even use the data that would qualify for an unlimited plan. So having a much cheaper subscription would be beneficial. Or even looking at internet services. Do you really need the ultra high speed internet when you're just streaming movies? Possibly not. Could be a possible for, but again, you could save money on a consistent monthly basis based on what you're looking at. Now, we talked a little bit about the budgeting apps. There are a lot of budgeting apps. There are a lot of expense tracking apps. However, a majority of these do cost money. They can range everywhere from $6 a month to $12 a month, $20 a month that you can use if you don't feel like doing this all yourself. Now, one thing that I have noticed is a lot of the budgeting apps need access to the information provided in bank accounts. That's kind of how they work. So it's a little bit scary because of the technology wise. You're giving a third-party app access essentially to your bank account information, which can be very, again, in my opinion, it could be very detrimental. If the information of an app that you're providing is ever compromised, it could mean that the banking information also linked with it could be compromised. And most of the time with compromised information, you find out long after the fact when things have kind of gone awry that there was a compromise something somewhere. So definitely look at some options with that. Also, a lot of banks and credit unions do break them down as well. It can break down your spending. See if that is something your banks or credit unions offer. A lot of them do break down their statements themselves in looking at the utilization of where you're really spending that money. Now, there are a lot of budgeting templates. We've looked at a couple over on NerdWallet, a couple other places, really using the budgeting template as a living tool. Now, what I mean by that is every 2 weeks, every 4 weeks, once a month, twice a month, whatever it may be, is going through and looking at the budget and seeing exactly where you can make adjustments, things of that nature. When you look at fixed expenses, again, looking at like a cell phone bill, things of that nature, doesn't really vary that much. It will be pretty much the same when it comes to the budget. But when you look at things like electricity, gas usage, things of that nature, some of those things can be seasonal, meaning that in the summer, you're going to spend a lot more electricity if you're running air conditioning, things of that nature. So making sure, again, adjusting the budget for those times, seeing exactly where you're spending your money and where you can save money overall will help you build a much healthier budget. In return, that can give you more money to pay off debt. It can also provide you more money to save if you're investing, if you're paying off your house, things of that nature. Now, the big thing here, guys, is looking at a room for change, exactly where you can look at lowering the monthly liabilities that you have, making things cheaper. Again, you would be incredibly hard pressed to be paying, let's say, $2,000 for insurance every year when you could get identical coverage with another company for $1,200 for assistance. When I changed over insurance, I actually went and saved probably about $700 a year, which I know for some people that's not much. For a lot of people, that is actually life-changing. $700 for me is $700 that I can allocate elsewhere, whether it is saving for my child's education, paying off my house faster, paying off debt. It is really big. Those can be the big parts of your budget. The day-to-day spending, things that you can cut out, have a little impact. But when you start looking again at the big picture of the expenses that you have within your life, the bigger the expense, guys, the more impact it can have. If you have a mortgage that's at 6%, 7%, 8%, if you can take that down to 4%, again, looking at the overall expense, that can be huge. If you have an auto loan at 10%, you can take it down to 3%. That 7% savings can be allocated for somewhere else in your budget, again, making it really viable to utilize those funds somewhere else. So I hope it does help out. There are a lot of fixed expenses that we're going to cover. There are a lot of proven ways to save money, and a lot of kind of tips and tricks is really what we're trying to get you to with being financial free, guys, making sure that you do impact your budget and you're tracking this. Now, it does take work from you. If you've built your budget, guys, let me know in the comments that you've built your budget. Let me know how it's going. And also let me know, where was your ability to change? What things can you get cheaper? What things have you found to save a little bit of money? Again, this does take some effort from you. It does take some time and attention to really get it done. But overall, it is in your court, guys. It is up to you to manage your budget. So again, let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.